going? Seth here, founder of Disc Golf Strong. Welcome back for part 2 of 5 of a video series that I'm doing in partnership with Dynamic Disc and the Disc Golf Answer Man show to help you prepare your body for the disc golf season. So in the first video, we talked about mobility and the importance of having mobility, especially in our upper back and our hips. If you haven't checked that video out, make sure you go check that out, okay? Now we're gonna get into stability. So we need to have good mobility, but then we also need to have good stability. So now what is stability? Stability is strength. And when I'm saying stability is strength, I don't necessarily mean strength like in our biceps or in our quads. I mean, we want to be stable in our joints. We want to have good strength in our joints. All the muscles, all the stabilizing muscles, okay? Our shoulders, our hips, our knees, our ankles. But today we're going to focus on the hips and the shoulders. Now, when it comes to disc golf throw, if I don't have good stability in my hips and I come through and I take my leg off and I'm doing a follow through, my hip, I need to have good stabilizing strength in all those little teeny muscles inside the joint of around the hip. Because if I don't do that, then the head, okay, the top of that bone that sits inside the hip, if all those muscles aren't keeping it nice where it's supposed to be, they're weak, okay, it's gonna jar or it's gonna slip. There may be lots of different things that can happen when we lose that stability inside that hip. Okay? And then we start to lose our mobility because of that. So we need to have good stability there. Also, stability in our shoulders, the rotator cuff. You've probably heard the rotator cuff before, right? All the different rotator cuff muscles, all the different stabilizing muscles in our shoulder. When I come through and I throw a disc, okay, my arm, the power, the strength, it wants to keep that arm going that way, especially as it's rotating around. Well, all these little stabilizing muscles in there, they need to be tight so that they keep the bone, the head of the bone inside the socket where it needs to be. If not, then it's going to start doing that, or it's going to start coming forward. We're going to start getting pain in the front or in the side or the back of our shoulder joint. So we need to have good stability and strength in the joints, and that's what these exercises are going to do for you. So the first exercise we're going to do is a big favorite of mine. It's called the half kneeling disc golf halo. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, I'm going to get in what we call a half kneeling position. So a half kneeling position just means that one knee is on the ground and one knee is up, okay? I got my disc here. All I'm going to do is get nice and tall. I want to keep my shoulders over my hips over my knees. So that means I'm not like this. So I'm nice and tall. I'm kind of pushing my knee, my right knee into the ground, and that helps me get nice and tall here. Shoulders over hips, hip over my knee. The stance, the width, if I'm too close, okay, or even crossing over, I'm gonna really be unbalanced here. So stability is also balance. I'm gonna be really unbalanced here. If I'm really wide, I'm gonna be super stable. Okay, this isn't gonna be challenging for my joints at all, my stabilizer muscles at all. So I'm gonna find a width that feels like I'm challenged, but I can successfully complete the movement. So let's say this is really good for me right here, okay? As I get better, I can start to bring my foot in, or if I need more stability, I move my foot out. So I can find a good stability point here. I take the disc, I'm just gonna put it here. Let me turn the side so you can see. I'm gonna hold it here in front of me, and I'm just gonna bring it around my head. It's like I'm tracing my head with the disc. So I'm not coming too far out. I'm coming around my head. I'm actually trying to bring the disc as far back as possible and then bring it around. So we're actually getting a 2-for-1 with this. So we're getting hip stability and core strength because the core has to be tight to make sure we don't fall over, but we're also increasing mobility in our shoulders. So this is one of my favorites, okay? So I'm gonna go around, nice and slow. I'm gonna go about 5 to 8 one side, 5 to 8 the other. Then all I do is I switch my feet. I'm going to bring my right foot forward, left foot back. Again, get over the shoulder over the hip, hip over knee, and do it the other side, 5 to 8, one side, 5 to 8 the other side. And you may notice that on one side, you can be really close, but then on the other side, you have to be a little more stable. Okay? You may notice there's a little difference there. A lot of people do. So eventually you'll start to notice that from doing this movement, okay, you can start to equal out both sides and get more symmetrical. So that is the half kneeling disc golf halo. The next one we're going to do is going to focus on the shoulder stability. Okay, so I talked about we need to have good stability in those shoulders, and this is going to be a great one for you. This is called shoulder taps. So with shoulder taps, what I do is I'm going to start on my knees. Okay, I would suggest starting on the knees, and eventually you can go up to the toes, and I'll show both variations. But starting on the knees, I push my hips forward, and then I squeeze my glutes. So these are your glutes here, okay? I'm gonna squeeze them together. That's really important. That helps kind of stiffen my body up. I'm gonna brace my abs a little bit like I'm bracing for a punch. Like someone's gonna come give me a little punch in the abs. I brace. My hand, I'm gonna push my hands hard into the ground. If I don't, I look like this. Okay, that's not a good stable shoulder. That is. So I push my hands down, and then I tap, shoulder taps. I'm tapping the opposite side. Pushing my right hand hard down into the ground, I tap my left shoulder to my right, my left hand to my right shoulder. And then I switch back and forth. Then if I want to make it a little more challenge, I come up on my toes, and again, side to side. Now, if we're doing this, if you're doing this at home and you realize that you're doing this, okay, we don't want to see that. We want to try, this is also a core challenge as well. Okay, so as I lift up, my body wants to fall. So my shoulder has to get really strong and stable, but also my core. Is why I picked this exercise as well. I love this one for shoulder and core strength and even hip strength. So we're going shoulder taps. 5 to 10 each side, okay? Those are two great stabilizing exercises. Get those shoulders and those hips nice and strong so you can play strong, healthy disc golf. All right, so that was 2 of 5. Make sure you come back for the next video series, which is core strength. Okay, we're gonna get into more core strength exercises. Check out discgolfstrong.com. Check out discgolfanswerman.com for any golf, any articles and videos on disc golf. Have a great day, everyone, and go play disc golf strong.